But listen, Jayson Tatum brought it tonight. This is a game. John, I know we've been talking about it. Tatum's been teetering on the edge here this series, and this is the type of game, this type of performance, start to finish, out inside, outside, big boy shots. This is the big boy game that I talk about. What do you mean no? What are you shaking your head
No,
no?
it's true. It's
This
true.
is
Look,
literally all happening.
Tatum can be that guy.
This is how you become a superstar
Yeah.
right before our eyes. These are the games, these are the moments, backs up against the wall, must-win situations. This guy was nails from start to finish. You know, he just had that attitude with him tonight, and it was a put the team on my back type game. I'm not saying he was the only player out there who did anything, but this was the type of performance that goes down in Celtic lore that Bobby
Sure.
talked about.
No, you're right. 100%. But it started iffy in the sense of like, okay, they're taking a lot of threes, a
Who
lot of
cares how it
contested
started?
threes. No, all I'm saying is, and there was a point in the
Let him
game
finish.
where Ime called the timeout, and clearly the message was, guys, get the ball to the friggin' paint. Because the Tatum drove, then Jalen drove, then Tatum drove and turned it over, and then complained to the refs about it. But it didn't matter. They started to attack, and they started to attack more and more and more as the game went on, and it made a huge difference because I was really worried when their first 10 shots, 9 of them were three-point attempts. I'm like, okay, they're going in. I don't know if it's sustainable, but they started getting to the basket a little bit more, and that opened it up. And then Tatum got into his bag and started doing Tatum things. And look, that stuff's great when it goes in. And when it goes in, you're like, forget about it. He looks unstoppable. And you had one of these nights where Tatum was best player on the planet in these games that you're going to talk about for a long time. So yeah, when this
There
stuff's
better not
going,
be a butt here. There better not be
no,
a
when
butt
the
at
stuff's
this
going
point.
in, it's great. I was just worried when I was watching. I was like, this is one of those games are we gonna rely on nothing but threes here? And I like that they started going to the basket, they started to move the ball a lot better. And they stayed with it, and they didn't get stagnant in the fourth quarter with doing that stuff. And then when they did, Tatum bailed them out every friggin' time. I mean, how many
he
of
did.
those like late in the clock threes, like some of those possessions, I'm like, oh my God, bad possession. And then Tatum's like, boom, great, good stuff. I mean, but they still
Yeah,
kept
but
going to the basket. Jalen was
right.
doing it. Tatum with the and one there, that kind of like pseudo dunk finish. There was a balance there, and it was good stuff. I mean, it wasn't just overly reliant on all of that. And then he just had it. He had the step back going all game long. And when that thing's dropping, forget about it. I mean, this was an insane performance.
Yeah, but John, you can't tell me in the fourth quarter that you didn't want it any other way. Because if it was the lead by
Right.
committee, if it was the everyone, let's just share the ball.
Yeah, no doubt. Did he freeze again?
I was gonna give him a second. Yeah. Hey, you know what, John?
No, I agree. You wouldn't want it any way. I actually think Ime called the timeout. Tatum scored like 11 straight points, and then the Celtics just for 4 straight possessions, Tatum didn't touch the ball. And Ime called the timeout, and I swear he called a timeout in between Giannis free throws 1 and 2. And I swear he just called that timeout to say, by the way, get the ball in friggin' Tatum's hands. Guys, what are we doing here? There was a couple of possessions where it was Marcus and then White, and it didn't swing to him. They're like, guys, what are you doing? This guy is on freaking fire. Get him the ball. And they did. And they closed it. But like, it really wasn't that white. There was white knuckle moments there, Jimmy. You went from 18 all the way down to 4. But Tatum. That was it. There's no other way to put it.
There's no other way to put it. And
It was all Tatum. Yeah.
it's all Tatum. I mean, quickly, if we could start a quick little maybe GoFundMe for Joe Sway just to bump his Wi-Fi connection. What's the price difference from like 40
I'm done
megabytes
joking.
to 100? I mean, can we get him to 100? I mean, this guy, unbelievable.
I'm
But,
done joking about it. I don't even find it funny anymore. I'm just mad.
To your point, John, to your point, you can let him in when you feel ready for it.
I think he can let himself in.
No, he can't. He can't.
No, he can't.
Yeah.
All right, I'll let
He's
him
very
in.
helpful.
I see when I get into the studio, things happen. So I'm out of the studio.
He's-
I'm grudgingly letting you back in. This is the
I
last
know you
chance
are.
now.
I'm
Let
out
me
of the
go, though.
studio. I'm not going back
Let
in
me-
there.
Joe Sway, you for as punishment, you have to listen to me ramble. So, John, to your point, you're right. Everything you just said about
Can I pin this comment, by the way?
what? Oh, you only had 8 fouls tonight. Yeah.
No,
sure.
the next one.
Oh, the next one. Yeah. What do you got?
When it comes in there.
Oh. And we lost Joe Sway again. But
Bobby's
John, you're right.
negativity sucks, and I agree.
Bobby's negative sucks and it stinks and it sucks. And you know what? No, but this is a game where we'll be talking about this one for a while. And John, yeah, of course, Tatum's not gonna he's not gonna have games. There's performances from your superstars where they're not gonna be hot like this. And we tend to get on Tatum for the games that he doesn't quote unquote show up from start to finish. But he on a night like tonight, he kind of reminds you that he is in the conversation for, one of the youngest, top best players in the NBA. He does need to be talked about with the Bookers and with the Morants and with the Lucas. I'm not saying he's better than those guys, but he is right up there in that conversation. And he's at this point in his young career, relatively young career, he has put together some pretty freaking memorable and historic playoff performances. This one's right at the top. I mean, really, with everything that was on the line tonight, 7 3-pointers, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and then obviously the 46 points. He was nailed. He was literally the guy that you looked to, and that's what a superstar is. I mean, that's he's head and shoulders when he's playing like this. You realize that he really is head and shoulders above 95% of the
But yeah,
NBA, 99% of the NBA. Really.
look, when he's making these shots, yes, out
No,
of his mind.
right, but
But
he's capable of doing it. A lot of guys aren't even capable of this type of
and look, and that's
and it's
why
not
the
gonna
guys
happen every game, obviously.
no,
It's
but
in
that's why
every
we
big
always argue with Bobby on like, well, does he play and not about Tatum, but we were arguing about guys like, does he play defense? I'm like, I don't care. This game's about shot making. And again, when Tatum is making shots, making difficult shots, making shots late in the clock, making contested shots, that's something only a handful of people in the league can do. That's
Sure.
why Luka is a friggin' maniac, and I don't care that he's out of shape and bad at defense. He literally affects every single possession because he's he controls literally everything that happens on the court all the time. That's what Tatum's got to be. Tatum's got to be the guy who's making it happen all the time. And then the shot making has to be elite from him. When he goes into these cold spells, it sucks. And, that's what happened a couple games. When the shots just aren't falling, it's brutal to watch. And when it goes in like this, you're like,
But
oh my God, this guy's unstoppable.
true
So again,
truthful for anybody, when the shots aren't flying. What you
yeah,
wanna watch Harden on a night where he can't hit a shot, it must be the most painful experience of your life.
it's so
Uh,
hard, and that's what was this game. The way it started was like I was nervous a little bit, like because it was like too many threes. Tatum got caught again, complaining and not getting back. He's falling on every 3-point shot, looking for calls. Jaylen Brown's got a loose dribble. Marcus Smart's trying to do too much with the ball, and I'm like, all of these trends are the ones that are going to kill you. And I was nervous the way it was going, and they really pulled it together
you did.
in that second quarter, and then into the third. And that was just really impressive. They really locked down the
Well,
D. And I'm gonna try this guy again. We're
yeah,
gonna
give
give
him
it a
a
shot. Give him one more
but
shot.
John, let me say one thing.
All right,
Yeah.
guys.
The difference from tonight and game 5 was the composure down the stretch because the Bucks, credit to them, again, they did make their run that you cannot never count this Bucks team out apparently. They got it to what I think 4. Connaughton again, Giannis is hitting threes. Uh,
Connaughton was out of his mind.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and the difference tonight was that whether it was Tatum or whoever, Smart had a big shot there down the stretch. They didn't unravel. They didn't change the way they were playing. So that tells me that they actually, watched the film, went over everything that they did do wrong over the last day and a half here, and righted the wrongs, and basically came out with a purpose tonight and kept the foot on the gas and did what they needed to do. Biggest game of every single player's career tonight, on that Celtics team, and they showed up. And obviously Tatum led the way. I would say, all things considered, it's got to be his best, game of his career. I mean,
Croatian kid says it here. It's hard to argue.
there you go. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
You
no,
can't.
no, 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 no question.
Croatian kid, big,
Yeah.
big
While
YouTube.
while Joe Sway's here, let him do some
Croatian.
talking because we never know how this is gonna go.
Yeah, listen. People can say what they want about the Celtics playing team basketball, and that
Frozen.
was the shut up, stop it. Then that was the reason, and that's what this team needed in the fourth quarter. But at the end of the day, when the Bucks cut that thing to 6, you knew it had to be Tatum because no one else was going to step up. You had
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown, and listen, Jaylen Brown at the end put together a nice game, but at the end of the day, you guys were both nervous when every other play, every other possession, it felt like he was dribbling it off his foot.
No, I wasn't.
He was,
Don't you put that on me. I don't want to get heat from everybody saying
oh
that.
man, I'm putting that on Jalen right now. Listen, I'm not saying Jalen had a bad game, but what I'm saying is when you needed a big run, you knew that it had to be Jayson Tatum putting the team on his shoulders. It wasn't going to happen any other way. Nobody else was equipped for that moment. Even though Marcus Smart was making those threes in the first half and he was in his bag, offensively, you knew it had to be Tatum because he was the only one that it didn't matter who was in front of him as a defender. He was going to blow past him or shoot it right in his face. You know what I mean? And like when the Celtics when the Bucks got within 6, I'm like, listen, if Tatum doesn't get hot here, this thing is over. Like I didn't see it any other way. Obviously, after Tatum makes 7 straight points, other guys got involved. You saw it happening in that way. But I never saw it as, okay, all right, Tatum, that's enough. Let's keep spreading the ball around. Let's get everybody else hot. No. I was like, Tatum needs to get going here because nobody else is going to get on a big scoring run, and no one else is going to make that kind of an impact to keep these guys at bay.
You needed it.
Was heating up. The shooters were going. Like the Bucks were starting to get downhill. The crowd was getting back into it. He needed to go off. It couldn't be any other way.
You needed it, honestly, because it was like, you're right. You needed every bit of it from Tatum, because
nobody else is going to do it.
This could have gone in that wrong direction. And he hit big shot after big shot after big shot. He got to the line. It was unreal. Man. Yeah, it was just big. It was big
too.
Big boy basketball. It was unreal.
After that 8-0 run by the Bucks to start the second half or start the fourth quarter, it was just like everyone's like, whoa. Is this deja vu? It was like everybody sitting around, like Tatum's like, let's go. And it wasn't. I got scared that Tatum's gonna get into the whole ISO dribble. No, it was more, give me the ball. I'm gonna make a quick decision, make my move, and that's it. And that's exactly what it was. It wasn't him trying to beat Giannis one-on-one every single time. Everyone clear out. No, it wasn't like that. So.
And again,
what a game! This is legendary. This is a legendary performance. The one against the Nets last year. Obviously, it was a lot for him in terms of that stepping stone that he needed in the postseason, a big performance against some quality players. But this is different. This is saving your team when they needed you to save them, and going up against Giannis, going up against the champs, and forcing this thing into a game 7.
No, and everywhere it happened, it gets 92-87. 5 points with 6 minutes to go, and Tatum comes up and hits a 3. And then Jaylen comes up and hits a 3 behind. Hits a 3 off a timeout that looked like a set play, an ATO by Ime, and that pumps it up to 11, and that was it. And then Marcus does the toe on the line one back up to 13, which was great. But I mean, just a couple really scary moments there. It got tight, and that was it. It was friggin' Tatum time. You
know what?
This is like Paul in 02.
Who's surprised though? We all came on this, and
Well, what? I mean, I didn't like Tatum this series, even the 34-point game. He's been it's been bothering me the not getting back on defense. I mean, even like the most ardent Celtics fans were kind of getting really frustrated. Like, dude, shut up and come back on D. And he did it a couple times early, and I was like, oh, come on, man, just play. You're the best player. You and Giannis, that's it.
He did that a couple times.
Right. And he did it. It's just like, stop. Like it happens. You're going to lose the ball. You're not going to get every call. You got to stop. It's been driving me nuts. Just play, man. Okay. Let this stuff happen. It's just got to flow. Stop obsessing over the stuff that isn't happening. It's not happening.
So, 2 things happened. He either watched the show and listened to you, which, I would say that there's probably a slim
Marcus
chance.
Marcus did.
Or do you think that message got to him? Do you think that Ime or do you think just watching the film back, do you think that's something that they said, okay, listen, we need to make a concerted effort to stop this crap because it's not working for us. It never has. Literally has never worked for you complaining to the referees. You just don't have that relationship with them. And it never will. I mean,
I don't think anything happened. I think just honestly, he got hot, and when he gets hot, he gets his swag back, and that changes things. So that's the thing. I mean, when he gets the offense going, he feels good about everything. You see the defensive intensity ramp up. You see him getting back. He's much quicker to get back up down the court on defense after makes. He has not responded well to the challenges when he's had a difficult time. So that's what's been frustrating this series, because that's what this entire series is 2 teams that are really good at making the other team play bad. They're very difficult teams to play against. They're physical. They swarm. You have to fight for every inch out there. And he hasn't responded great to that. So, Bobby, I saw you in there. Jump back in, buddy. We're about to get him in. But this was, again, it was, again, once the shot starts falling, everything changes with him. But he had to take charge. He definitely did some stuff different today. And I do think, I'm looking back on that. I'm going to rewatch the game. I really think there's a moment where Ime brought him in and said, guys, too many threes. You're not even looking to get into the lane. You're not even looking to drive to kick. You're just whipping the ball around the perimeter and just taking a three, and they're going in, but you're gonna get burned. And I swear, there was an in-game thing where it was like, you got to start attacking, just go, and they did.
But
More so.
let me ask you guys this: who's surprised that we're going to a game 7? This team's been pretty damn resilient, and the way the series has gone, like we said last show, we have no reason to believe that they can't go to Milwaukee and win. They've already done it.
Right.
They've responded to each loss with a win. And the same could be, and the same, we had every reason to believe the same was going to happen tonight, and it did. So am I surprised that we're going to a game 7? Absolutely not. In fact, I think, I forget now, but I think most of us thought that there was a good chance for a game 7, except Bobby. So if Bobby shows his face tonight, there might have to be an apology came around him. I'm not going to force it, but he, if I recall, said the series was over. So I'm interested to see if he's going to backpedal. Like
No, we should
Kyle
wait.
Lowry
In all fairness, though, let's wait till this thing is done. Let's see the overall outcome. But I see what
Sure,
you're saying, Jimmy.
But if
Because
it's
his
over,
energy,
but
yeah.
if it's
After
over,
the game
Kyle
4
Lowry
win,
doesn't
Bobby
game-
said they're gonna win. After the game 5
That's
loss,
what
Bobby
I
said they're gonna
mean.
lose.
180 Bobby. 180
Bobby's like I
Right,
said,
right.
Bobby's like a goldfish. Once around the bowl, and he forgets
so I feel
what
like-
happened.
I feel like,
Here he is.
exactly. So I
Defend
feel like-
yourself, Bobby.
I don't
Bobby,
know,
everyone
I
wants
feel
you
like-
to.
Bobby,
Everyone wants an
Bobby, man, you
apology.
coward.
If we make him apologize now, we're just doing what he does. We're pulling a 180.
I'm not
We
doing
gotta
it.
wait
I
out.
don't do that.
We
No,
gotta
no,
wait it out.
No. But Joe Sway, he said the series was over. So I want to know
He
if he
did say
takes
that.
that back, knowing that
He
Game
also
7
said he can't see how there isn't a game 7. So he's kind of said a lot of everything. Yeah.
I
He
said
said
a lot
what?
of everything. I said the Celtics will win game 6, and I said the Bucks will win game 7.
He's sticking
Like,
with it.
What kind of a prediction is that? I mean, how is that even?
Do you still feel that way?
I'm leaning that way.
So wait, that's what, because the
It's gonna be
Celtics
a lot
lost game 5. That's why.
Yeah, I think you lost not only that opportunity, you lost game 1 on your home court badly, and you lost an opportunity to steal a game in game 3 here. So I think you've just squandered too many opportunities now. And this game I don't want to chalk it up to this because I do think it was a tremendous effort, particularly on the defensive side of the floor. But man, did you hit an avalanche shots in this one? I mean, good Lord, did you
that's the point.
just catch the ball and
That's the goal.
run? So again, I hate to lean this way because I really like the way they're playing, but I don't know, it's tough. Again, game 7's a toss up. I'm not saying the Celtics
He dies.
7, but you gotta lean Bucks the way this one went.
You don't
you're gonna
have
come-
to lean.
Nobody's
Wait, you have
got to
lean
do
Bucks the way this
anything,
one
Bobby.
went?
No,
I don't know.
no,
I don't see the. I
not
don't see how
doing
that
it.
adds-
Nah.
It's all right.
There's
Celtics
no
here,
lean. There's no lean. That if there's one thing we learned, it's literally nothing matters.
Nothing matters, and that goes
nothing
for anything
matters.
in life. First of all, but also,
But both
Celtics
these
are gonna be favored in game 7.
the only thing we've learned is there's absolutely zero carryover from one game to the next. It's the only thing we know with certainty. Anything that you've seen prior to whatever to tip off means nothing. Nothing.
Clean slate. Yeah.
Over
You
and
know
over
what it
again.
is?
Al
You know what
Horford
it
goes for 30. Grant goes for 21. Then they go for 0. You know, like the only thing you can count on is Giannis is going to frigging absolutely just
here's the
bulldoze
one.
his
Wait,
way
so
through
hold on,
people.
John. Does he have another 40-point game in him, though? Does he have another 40-point game? I
Here's
don't
the
know.
one thing that
Yeah.
gives me- I
Let me
don't
say
know.
this.
Right,
I think
Bobby?
he emptied. He
What?
really was tired through the middle course of this game.
John, this
Like,
stuff,
no-
this stuff takes a toll on players, man. Playing every other day. Sorry, Bobby. Go ahead.